In today's video, I'm going to talk about and show you this very cool app called as LMStudio. Using this app, you can run LLMs on your local laptop or desktop. You can use models through the in-app chat UI, and you can download any compatible models uh, to use and run in your local laptop. So for running this app, basically you need to go to lmstudio.ai, and you can download it, and it is supported for Apple Macs M1, M2, M3 with Mac OS 13.6 or newer. Like, this is the minimum requirement. For Windows and Linux PCs with processor that supports AVX2, which is like newer PCs, and you need 16 GB plus of RAM, and my laptop has 16 GB of RAM, so I can run it. And for PCs, you need 6 GB plus of VRAM, so that is recommended. And also it supports Nvidia and AMD GPUs. After installation, this is like the homepage of the app, and you can see it says supports Llama, Mistral, and other models. And also you can download a few models from this homepage. You can just click the download and it will download, and it gives here the file size as well. So I have downloaded this Starling LM7 beta and Hermes Pro Mistral 7 billion. So yeah, these couple of models I have it. So how you can do, let's say you want to search for any model. Let's start with the search. So this is the model, and if I say go, it will load this model, and you can then download it. The second part of this is AI chat. Here you can load any existing models that you have downloaded, and you can chat with it just like ChatGPT. So if I click on this and say I will select Starling LM beta, and it will load it, and it will tell you how much RAM is needed for this, how much CPU it's consuming right now. So once it's loaded, you can start chatting with it. So like, hello, right? So you can just type your query or prompt, and it will give you the response back. So that's a chat part of it. The third is playground. So playground is kind of similar. You can load the model here. I'm going to select a different model in this case, and it says that choose a preset. So I'm going to let the default selection. So when it's done, you can say you have different options here. JSON mode and JSON schema is enabled, and it gave you the identifier. And who are you? I'm going to ask this model. So this model is from Starling LM beta, and after I asked who are you, it printed a JSON, which is a random string, but then after that it printed the response that I'm an AI language model design, and this is to provide information. So let's go to the local server part of it. So when you go to that screen, you can again select whatever model you want to choose. There's a configuration on this side which says that there's a server port, CORS is on or off, and verbose server logs and all that. And there's like examples of the code which you can run either on your Jupyter notebook or your Python, and then you can play around with it. So or even your curl. So I'm going to start this server. So it's like your local host, and it will print you the whole URL. So it says the server is localhost and it's running on the port, and you can change the port before starting the server, right? So I have this curl command here, and here you can see on the left side it will start printing the logs as soon as I hit this, and the stream is true means it will start streaming the response from the model. So let's do it. So you can see it printed the command, and it says that first token generated and continuing to stream the response. So it's done, and that's how you can run it using the curl. And if you want to run it, let's say in the chat gpt style mode, right? So here's the whole code for that. So how ChatGPT works, like you type a query or your question or your prompt, and it replies back. So with this AI assistant Python code, you can do that. So I'm going to copy it. So I have pulled up this file on my screen, and you can see the code here. So what's happening here, it's importing the OpenAI library on the very first line, and it's pointing to the local server on your client, like on line number 5. And the API key is saying is LMStudio. The history is the array, like where your history is getting stored, and then it's going in the loop, and it's streaming here for the completion, basically the response. And the temperature here, I believe it's the randomness by which the response is getting generated, and the stream is true, like it's continuous, it keeps streaming. um and yeah, so this is what happening. uh and then it processes chunks, like on line number 22, it's saying that for chunk in completion. So what it's saying that the response is built from chunks. Each chunk's content is printed on the terminal, which is this thing, and then it's appended to the new message, right? And then history array appends this new message uh, JSON. Okay, and that's how the whole this chat history is going to come up on the screen. And then the next line, from line 30 onwards, it's commented, but it says that if you want to print the history in color, you can totally do that by uncommenting these lines. So I'm going to uncomment this. Okay, and yeah, so that's it. So let's try to run this code. I'm going to pull up my terminal. So on the left side, you can see on the LMStudio started printing the logs. And here on my screen, you say that history dump, and the two initial chat history messages are there. So history dump contains the initial chat history messages here. So I'm going to query it. So it's saying that capital of USA is, like, it's printing the response, and also it's printing the history dump. So it's keeping track of what you're asking here. Okay, and this is gray. It's, you can change it. So the gray color is 033, and let me pull up something more visible. So let's say green, and the ANSI escape code for that is 92, and I'm going to write it green color, print green color, and that should do it. Okay, let's see. Cancel it, run it again. Yeah, so the color has changed. Now it's more visible, the history is visible. How are you? So this is like your local assistant, and it runs the same way that you run ChatGPT on your browser. So this is very cool. You can play around with it, and it's free. And don't forget to hit subscribe button.